You called it right, Simon. We're very close to calling it right about Palace because they went to the Emirates last night and gave more than a good account of themselves.
They did.
Laura mentioned it in breakfast. Vieira's reaction at the end was something else when he kind of slumped to his knees.
Yeah, disappointment, obviously, because the narrative is Vieira going back to Arsenal, Palace being underdogs to Arsenal in, previous incarnations. Not, I don't think in this incarnation, but obviously because it's Arsenal, you'll always go to the Emirates with a degree of you are the underdog because you're Crystal Palace, rather than looking at the two sides and the recent form that they're in. I did feel slightly disappointed with Vieira, as much as I should feel disappointed, because I think the performance on the whole was great, but I didn't understand why they dropped for the last 10 minutes. And really dropped and allowed Arsenal to keep on pouring on. But, I thought Palace, as I said to you yesterday, I had an expectation or a feeling that they could win this game. And they certainly put themselves in the position to do it. And I would have liked to have seen just a little bit. I understand the reasons why a football manager makes decisions. They're far more compelling than perhaps a former owner suggesting how a football manager should pick and play his team.
Right.
But the very thing that got you in front, perhaps is the very thing that you need to continue to do and believe in yourselves, because Arsenal were only afforded opportunities because Palace changed and then allowed them to come on. And it was building, and it's just galling that it happens to build in the 94th minute.
Yeah.
And as a result of an injury that delayed it for that extra minute, which got them that extra minute, I know that the play didn't go on in that period of time, that they got a spawny goal, really. I mean, I thought Palace should have cleared it, and I don't think Arsenal deserved to get a point from that game. I don't think they did. I thought Palace deserved, not because of my partisan bias, but because the first 20 minutes of the game, Arsenal were good. Palace took over from there. Yeah, and Palace made them look a certain way in the first half, and then took it to them in the second half.
Yeah. I mean, they were kicking themselves at the end for letting Arsenal back into it. Of that, there is no doubt. But the 94th minute, they got the equaliser, so 2-2 in the end. Let's hear from both managers, actually, Simon, post-match, starting with Vieira, who was asked if he deserved to take all 3 points.
Yeah, we should. This is why I'm really disappointed. This is why the players are really frustrated. And I feel really sorry for them, because they work hard, they work well, they show a lot of character and personality, and not leaving the stadium with the 3 points is disappointed. And this is why I'm frustrated and disappointed for my players.
Well, it's not the result that we wanted, for sure, and we are disappointed because of that. But we scored at the end late, but we put the game in a really difficult position. When you give 2 goals away the way we did in the Premier League, to win a game like this becomes a real uphill.
So that was Arteta at the end of it. Basically, the story then of this one, Simon, is that Arsenal rally late and they snatched a point.
Yep.
But Arsenal were the home team.
Yep.
And Arsenal have been around in the Premier League a long time in a lofty position. Which of these projects do you think are heading in a quicker, clearer, more promising direction? The one at Arsenal, the one at Palace?
Well, it depends what the project is. Crystal Palace has been a work in progress in terms of staying in the Premier League for the last 8 or 9 years, with one particular season where they finished inside the top 10. They've had an investment in the summer of 90 million quid to kick on, either to kick on or to bridge the gap that some of the COVID losses will have put into play. They brought Vieira in, which was an expansive and ambitious appointment, not simply because of the name, but because of the credentials in management terms. He's come in, he's done well. He's been given, some decent players to play with. He's got a great player out of Chelsea on loan in Conor Gallagher. He's brought a centre-forward from Celtic that's hit the ground running and looks decent, although if you're going to defend against him like Gabriel did and the others did, then you're going to give him plenty of opportunities to look good. I don't know what Arsenal are. If you look at the two sides, Arsenal had, in acquisitions, before we even talk about the young players, £300 million worth of player value on that pitch in terms of what they've paid for them, and Palace had about 75-80 million quid. So if you look at the Gabriels, you look at the Ben Whites, you look at the Aubameyangs, you look at the Pepe and all those sort of players, and the Tierney's and the goalkeeper, about £300 million worth of spend before you even get into the young players. It's not even valuing Saka or Smith Rowe. Yeah. You look at Palace and you say you spent about 75-80 million quid, of which 35 million quid of that was spent on Benteke. And you look at the two sides and say, what do you think? What do you think? You've got Vieira in situ for 3 months, in a team that's morphing, that had a whole range of contractual issues during the summer, with a change of direction, with an idea to be more expansive, more ambitious than the side that was sat in for years with Roy Hodgson and attacked all the time on the counter-attack. And then you've got Arsenal that have a billionaire owner, that have been an elite football club for as long as we can remember, that have ambitions and aspirations to be back amongst the elite, with a manager that's been in place for the best part of nearly 2 years now.
Yeah.
What is our Arsenal? Don't give me all that crap about average age of 23, right? Because that's fine. You've got some young players in there that distort it.
Yeah.
But you've spent a lot of money. What are you? You were lucky. Not because I'm the former Crystal Palace owner or Crystal Palace fan. You were lucky yesterday to get away with that result. Palace probably, on the balance of probability, if they had a little bit more belief in themselves at the last 10 minutes, deserved to win that game.
Yeah, yeah.
And what does that tell you about where Arsenal are? You know, Arsenal got a reasonable result, a couple of results recently, but they are not anywhere near a side that you can say they got a decent result obviously against Spurs, but Spurs are what they are. They're the archetypal Forrest Gump. You put your hand in a butt, you never know what you're going to get out with Tottenham. And so I think Arsenal are nowhere near moving in the right direction in my view.
Which is a serious worry for them.
They look like a mid-table side.
Yeah,
and
that's exactly
you
what they
can
are.
drop around the excuses, but this is a big football club with big owners that have spent relatively big money on player acquisitions. You know, spending £50 million on centre-backs and £30 million on goalkeepers isn't small dough. They spent £140 million in the transfer window.
Yes, good point.
It's not good enough, Jim.
It's not good enough.
It's not good enough.
So Crystal Palace fans, I think, would be the happier of the two sets of fans this morning.
I think so.
You're witnessing a different style of play. It's good on the eye, and you came damn close to winning it last night at the Emirates. Arsenal, not so good at the moment. Far from it. And their position in the Premier League this morning, mid-table, suggests there's a lot to be done. So which of the two projects do you think is heading in a quicker, clearer, more promising direction? Arsenal fans, you concerned? Is Arteta the man? I know we constantly ask the questions of managers, but we're right to do it. He's been there a while now. Has he bedded in sufficiently now that we can make a judgment on him? Should he stay? Should he be thinking, I've got to get things going soon, and damn soon?
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.